Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast, the world's leading authority on childcare marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Childcare Genius Marketing. Let Childcare Genius Marketing help you get fully enrolled and fully staffed. Visit childcaregenius.com for more details. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey.
Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast.
We're your hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey, coming to you live from Clearwater Beach, Florida. Carol and I moved down here a couple months ago, and we are loving Florida life, loving the beach life. How much snow have we shoveled this winter? Nah, loving that. So we're going to talk about mindset today. And just looking at mindset, I'm looking out the window right now, and I see waves, and I see beach. And it's easy to have a good mindset when you have good surroundings around you, but it might not be that easy when you're sitting in a school, you're looking at 4 walls, and you've got problem after problem after problem coming to you.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what we're going to talk about today, how to have a good mindset. And just because I can see this beach doesn't mean you can't right now close your eyes and see the same view that I'm looking at, right? So if mindset is in the mind, I'm going to talk about that a little bit. So your attitude determines your altitude in life. What's your attitude like? How do you feel about what's going on around you? It's so easy in today's negative world to be negative. Turn on the news, and I would get negative. We just don't watch it. You know, we used to watch the news every night. It's just so frustrating to look at the world sometimes, and you're like, why do I need to see that? You know, if it pertains to me, one of my friends will let me know, you know, that if something bad's going to happen. So I'm of the mind that I want to only put positive stuff into my brain and be careful of that. So your altitude, again, in life is determined by your attitude in life. If you're the owner of your business, you set the temperature for the rest of the school. If you have a crappy attitude, they're going to have a crappy attitude. And if you're having a bad day, stay home. You're not allowed to have a bad day at work. You just aren't. You have to put on a game face. It's like the coach of a team. He can't have a bad day. He's got to be on there, or the quarterback of the team. Like, they've got to be on their game all the time. And when they're down 28 points in a game, the quarterback's like, we can come back. We can come back. Like, you don't say, oh, looks like this game is lost. You know, when Tom Brady came back 28 points down to beat Atlanta, when he was 28 points down, I could promise you, he kept telling this other players, we could win this thing. We could win this thing. And that attitude carried him through. Well, same thing with you. If childcare funding says, oh, we're going to cut funding, or if the government shut down, there's going to be a delay. External circumstances are yours. How you handle them is how your director is going to handle crises in their business, and how your teacher is going to handle crises in theirs. They see you having a breakdown. How do you think the teacher's going to handle when a kid's having their breakdown? They're going to throw you the kid in your office whenever you deal with it. Anything more to add to that?
No, just that if you try to check your problems at the door, any issues you've had at home, if you had an argument with your kids, or if your kid threw up on the way to school and you had to figure out alternate care, whatever it is, check your problems at the door. Take a couple deep breaths before you walk into the center.
Yeah, if you're an owner or director listening to this, you don't have that luxury of taking your problems to school.
Right.
So I would keep focused on those issues and not worry about what's going on. Like, you have to mentally check out for those couple hours you're in school. Like, if you come in for 8 hours, you got to kind of mentally check out as far as the rest of your life and focus in on that school. It's not an easy thing to do sometimes. But if you can't, you have to either go home, excuse yourself, and deal with the situation in hand. So your mindset equals your culture. Great mindset,
Great culture.
crappy mindset.
Great culture.
There you go. So if you got problems at your school culture-wise, you might want to look in the mirror. How are you contributing to that? If you're a very positive person, you're going to attract positivity around you. If you're a negative person, well,
and not just you. If you have a person in your center that is negative and always in a bad mood and always sees the worst in things, and they're bringing the rest of the team down, you need to either fix it or get rid of them. If they can't fix their mindset, they need to go.
Yes. So how do you improve your mindset? Positive. You got to put positive in. Stop watching the news. Stop being negative. Stop hanging around negative people. Stay off of Facebook. There's not anything positive in there. Maybe once in a while you could do that, but it just sometimes you get so busy wrapped up looking at other people's great lives that we get negative and depressed, not realizing they're lying in it.
Right.
So positive books. We recommend a lot of different books in our Childcare Genius University. We actually send books to our clients each and every month. So we're constantly putting positive into people. We want them to read daily, at least 10 pages a day. You read 10 pages a day, you're reading at least 2 books a month. 2 books a month. The average CEO in America reads a book a week. I read a book a week on average. Carol reads 2 books a month on average. It is very important to have that kind of positivity going into your brain.
If you don't have the capacity to sit down and read, if you have young children at home and you're working 10 hours a day and you're driving to and from work, get audiobooks and listen to them on the way to work or while you're working out, or sometime find the time to do that.
Yeah. Some people are going to say you have ADD and you can't sit down and read. Well, I have ADHD pretty bad. I am massively distracted very easily. So I found out audiobooks are very distracting for me. Because I can't focus because they're talking to me. It's easy to drive. It's easy to, work on my computer while I'm listening to it. It's easier to multitask. But I'm sitting there with a book. I have to focus in on that book to get something out of it. Yeah, once in a while my mind is wandering, but I'm much more focused reading, and it has slowed me down.
If you read a paper book, have a highlighter.
Yep.
And highlight things that pique your interest, and that keeps you focused in on the book.
Yeah. You look at Caroline's book, she highlights in pink, I highlight in blue. Sometimes we read the same book and we have multiple highlights in there. And by doing that, again, when I go back and finish a book, I always go back and reread the highlights. So it's reinforces what you've learned. And I have a rule of thumb. If I find myself daydreaming, I go back to where I remember reading, because when you're daydreaming, you're not really paying attention to reading. I had to do that this morning. I had to go back a page and a half because I was thinking about something I was going to do that day. And Carol and I get up and read every morning first thing. It's 7 days a week, 365. We get up and we read. Sometimes it's only 15 minutes. Sometimes it's 45 minutes to an hour. It's just how good we get into the books. And we go to work out afterwards. So now that we love working out, we don't dread it like we used to. We're finding ourselves reading a little less and doing a workout. And that workout is helping our mindset as well. So very important to find those things that make you feel good. Mantras are very important. What you say to yourself is very important, because 90% of the communication that you have in your brain is with yourself.
Yeah.
You talk to yourself all day long, and a lot of it's destructive.
Yeah.
It's negative self-talk affects your mindset significantly. So there's power in mantras. Mantras could be little things like I'm a winner, saying it all over again. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's a mantra that I have. In Philippians, you could have the same one, or you could have similar ones. You could just say, I'm a lean, mean, workout machine. I'm positive. I attract positivity. They sound stupid. I know. When I first saw people doing it, I'm like, that is a bunch of hogwash, cult following thing. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. But then I realized your brain doesn't know the difference between truth and a lie. So you could tell your brain, hey, I weigh 150 pounds. If you keep saying it enough, your brain will go to work to make it come true because in its mind, it is true. And if you having a bad day, you've got to repeat to yourself, man, I'm having a great day. People love me. When I go to work every day, there's no situation that's out of control. All the kids are going to be behaved today. Like have that mindset when you walk in and just repeat those things to you when you're having a bad time. And there's books you can read. What to Say When You Talk to Yourself is a great book. I think it's a guy named Shad Homestead or something along those lines. But I haven't read it in a while, but it's a really, really good book on self-talk. And there's a lot of them. If you Google self-talk, you'll find what you want. How's your self-talk?
Most of the time it's good. Once in a while I find myself saying, oh, you dummy.
Yeah.
And that's very destructive. When you do stuff like that, you need to try to catch yourself and make sure you don't do it again or say something positive afterwards.
Or have an accountability partner. Like once in a while, Carol will throw something negative, like I'm worried I'm not going to pass my test, or I'm worried about this going on. And I immediately correct her, like, we were playing pool one day, and she's like, I'm never going to beat you. And I sat and scolded her a little bit, not scolding, but I said, Carol, why would you have that mindset? I mean, it's a game. Luck is involved here, and you could win just as easily. You know, a a bad golfer could beat Tiger Woods on any one hole. Can't beat him over 18, but you can have that, right? So she ended up beating me that game. And I think it taught her a lesson. Like, okay, maybe
I beat you because you sunk the eight
but
ball.
that's a
Or you
rule.
sunk
You
whatever
won
the white
by
balls
I sunk the 8 ball on and that's bad when
No,
it's not the last
No,
ball.
you sunk the 8 ball and the cue ball at the same time.
Okay, double rub it in.
Yeah.
Each one's a loss.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead and rub it in a little bit. But here I am giving her confidence to turn around and beat me. And that made me very happy. And she ended up beating me 2 out of all 3 games we played, or 2 or 3 out of 3. Two out of 3. Okay, so it wasn't just luck the next time. She actually was good, but better on it. But anyway, that gave her the confidence to beat me again. And it's, like the 4-minute mile. They said it would never be done. So to every runner in the world, it was an impossibility until somebody did it. Once they did it, now 4-minute miles is standard, like everybody does it. And so the impossible can become the possible. So have a vision.
What's that movie? The one where he's homeless and he becomes a stockbroker or something? What's that called?
With Will Smith.
Yeah. I
can't think of the name either.
But it is such a good movie in that way that you could, if you put your mind to something, you can accomplish it.
It'll come
Positive
to me
thinking.
maybe at the end. But yes, he had such a good attitude in that. And mentally, he was a little slow, but his attitude was right on. And one point during the movie, he was telling his kid about not building his hopes up. Like he was trying to take his kid's dream away, and the kid actually brought him back to reality. Like, yes, don't let anybody tell you what you can't do.
That's right.
And I grew up with a bone condition that might break bones a lot easier than other people. So I couldn't play gym, couldn't do sports or anything like that. And I was always told in life what I couldn't do, not what I could do. So once I joined the Navy, which, I spent 8 years in, never broke a bone. So that was attitude too. I wanted to serve my country. And I had a philosophy that said, don't tell me what I can't do until I've already done it. And I've done that in life. I've jumped out of planes, Carol and I go zip line, and we do a lot of crazy stuff. I just don't tell me what I can't do.
Think about your job and your goal of what you want to instill in the children. You want to instill in them that they can accomplish anything through hard work. So you have to instill that in yourself at the same time.
Somewhere between childhood and adolescence, we lose the dream of life.
Yeah.
Like we don't dream anymore. Kid thinks they could be anything. I think I could be anything. Pro athlete might be a little bit out of the question. I could probably be a pro golfer if I worked on hard, or a pro poker player. There are some things I probably couldn't do. NFL is probably not looking for older guys, but I wouldn't set that as a goal. But I'm just saying, don't tell yourself what you can't do. Everything is possible. If you're listening to this today, you don't have any money between you, 10 years from now, you could be a multi-millionaire. I can promise you, because people have done it. People have done it. So visioning is important. It's biblical. Visioning is very important. Cast your vision upon tablets. Like write down what your vision is. I weigh 150. Like write down as it already happened. Envision it. Picture yourself where you want to be. Picture yourself with a great mindset. Like picture and vision that going in. And I'm telling you, your day's going to be a whole lot better. I remember I used to go to stoplights and I'd repeat mantras. This was back long before I got into businesses, because I learned some positivity techniques. I tell you, I used to go home in such a good mood and positive because I would repeat the mantras on the way home from work. And on the way to work, you could do that as well.
That's a lot of the reason why so many people that get like weight loss surgery and they lose weight and then they gain it all back, because their attitude hasn't changed. Their mindset hasn't changed.
They still saw themselves as a fat person. So their brain went to work to put them back into their comfort zone.
Right.
You can't change yourself. You can't change your weight. You can't change your appearance. You can't change that without changing mentally first. It's just impossible, because you're going to go to where you're comfortable. And a weight problem usually is an issue. I'm not saying it's a mental problem.
No.
I'm saying it's a mindset problem.
Right. Sometimes it's a physical.
It could be physical too. But there are medicines you can take, things like that. But you do have to have the right mindset to get there, because you're never going to overcome it. And if you get that attitude right, no matter what happened to you in your past, you could overcome successes, because people have done it.
Right.
Just because, you had an abusive childhood doesn't mean you can't be successful, because other people have done it.
Right.
Just because you were poor doesn't mean you can't be rich. Just because you had bad parents doesn't mean you can't be an amazing parent. So I hope we're helping you a little bit mindset today. We want you to inspire to be a much more positive, better person. Our goal with this podcast, obviously, always to give you nuggets that can help you succeed in your childcare business, in your personal life, and just life in general. We're hoping we make an impact on eternity by help make a difference in your life. So if you've liked this podcast, let us know. Hit a like on it. But we'd also like you to, if you're struggling with mindset and you need help, we have many tools on our website at childcaregenius.com. Go to the resources tab. We have a page called Childcare Mindset that you could find and like and follow that has just inspirational stuff in it. It's for teachers, directors, and owners. Get in there. We just throw positive quotes a couple times a week and just keep it all positive. There's nothing else. There's no marketing in it. There's no promotions. It's all just positivity. And if we can help you personally, just go to our website at childcaregenius.com. Under the coaching tab, say I'd like a free coaching call. And we'll give you a coaching call to help you with mindset as well. So we're here for you, and we pray for you. That's one thing we do, is every night we pray for the people who are listening and our followers, so they each would have a worry-free, problem-free existence, which I know is a far-fetched, but it starts with mindset. So thank you so much for joining us today. We hope to see you next week.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Childcare Genius Podcast. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Childcare Genius Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.